Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole giving you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what time you are watching this live. How are you doing, crew? Hey, Teef. Hey, Aspen. What's going on? Let me know if you guys can hear me. And also let me know if you got the notification because earlier I am hearing that they are not getting the notification. So let me know. Hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. This is late night for all my East Coasters, but it's still pretty early over here in California. Hey, Lady February, you came back. You came back. Okay, you received it. Excellent, excellent. All right, you guys. So we're definitely going to do just the late night recap. Hey, Leo, what's up? And I'm going to start calling these instead of hot topics. I'm going to start calling them the WTF weeklies. Okay. They're going to be called the WTF weeklies because I just feel like 2024 is about to be a WTF in good ways and bad ways. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to the news and the celebrity stuff. It's about to be a WTF, in my personal opinion. So that's what I'm going to call it now versus Hot Topics, the WTF Weekly. So, with that being said, I know that I mentioned earlier I was going to talk about Keith Lee, but I figured we could talk about a couple of things that went on this week. And unfortunately, I'm going to start off with some sad news. And it's really disturbing to my spirit. And when it's that disturbing, I feel like I need to talk about it because it's really heavy on me right now. So this lady here, her name was Dr. Antoinette Bonnie Candia Bailey. Okay. She was the vice president of student affairs at Lincoln University of Missouri. At one point, that school was an HBCU. Apparently, it's not anymore. Which interesting enough, I do feel like it's sad because, of course, when people always talk about how they're multimillionaires and they are Black within our community, it's sad to see that people are not saving these HBCUs. And Lincoln University of Missouri, I believe, was a very old, prominent HBCU at one point. So I guess it's no longer HBCU. And when I saw her picture, especially when we're having during the work week, things can get very hectic with just work, of course, in our own personal lives. So when I skimmed through and I saw her picture, my ignorance looking at her and I was seeing like the RIPs and stuff like that, I'm thinking maybe she was sick. That was my ignorance to just automatically assume that. But again, I'm just scrolling through, not thinking anything of it. Well, unfortunately, come to find out, she unalived herself. Okay. And it's disturbing because apparently she unalived herself due to workplace bullying. And she wrote a long letter, long email to the president of this university, who just so happens now to be a white man, who she actually breaks down and explains all the stuff that she's been going through. She definitely did have I think she mentioned she had depression and anxiety, and they completely ignored it. How she even mentioned when she was getting her overall scores in her reviews, she would only get like a 36 out of 100. She really broke down all of the treatment she was receiving. Mind you, she only got this job May of 2023. Hadn't even been a year, you guys. And so I have some of the parts of the article that I wanted you guys to see, and how her friends are pretty much saying that they were, beating themselves up because had they just read the entire email, maybe they, could have saved her. She graduated from Lincoln University in 1998. She was a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And they said that they could tell just by talking to her that something was wrong. Like they saw her, I guess, apparently at homecoming, and she had that position, but they just saw her, like, I guess, homecoming this past fall. And she was saying that she's just trying to make it through. And that her whole demeanor had changed, and she was still smiling, but you could tell something was off. So I'm sure they are completely devastated, like anyone would. I didn't even know her, and I'm devastated because we, especially as Black women, do get ignored often, as far as we can just take anything and everything, with bullying in general, not just workplace bullying, but just bullying, period. And, it's a sad situation that this woman felt like her only way to handle this was to unalive herself. And I guess I hope I'm saying that correctly, but I guess she just felt hopeless, and she felt like she didn't have any hope. And I know for me, in the careers that I have been in, I have experienced workplace bullying. And unfortunately, you can experience it from those who don't look like you and from those who do look like you. It happens all the time. And very educated woman, very accomplished. And people assume because she's accomplished and she's educated that she shouldn't have the mental, health issues. And everyone or anyone can have mental health issues. You can be perfectly fine, and the levels of the stress at your job and what you're experiencing can literally break you at any moment. And so, with that, I wanted to just kind of bring this up because it is a sad situation. I felt like she needed to get some recognition, for, what happened to her. And I don't see a lot of people talking about it. And hopefully it will continue to bring more attention and more awareness. Now, from my understanding, the Alumni Association is calling for that sorry ass president to be fired. Okay. And apparently now he is on leave, paid leave, apparently, or allegedly, but he is on leave. The email that she wrote to him directly was on January 8th, I believe, which was the same day that she unalived herself. So she pretty much was giving her goodbyes and really airing out everything that she went through, and made sure that they actually, did see it. But it's a failure of leadership, and it's a failure of not just the president, but other people who were there. And I think it's a bigger discussion that people need to have about how leadership nowadays in these workplaces are absolutely horrible. You know what I mean? Like, literally, it's absolutely horrible. So it's like, at the end of the day, we need to really dig deeper in how people are treated and how people are just considered, like, they should just have tough skin and deal with it. He probably thought that in a best case scenario that she would just quit. And look what happened now. I mean, it had to be bad. It had to be absolutely horrible that she just started this job May of 2023, and here it is now, January 2024. It's a sad situation, but I don't want to be, I just wanted to start off with this first because I think she definitely needed to get some recognition about this situation. Apparently, this is the information in regards to her funeral service. I did try to see if this was legit or not. I didn't see anything that said it wasn't, but apparently this is the information, and it will be streamed live for those who may want to actually look at it, and say your prayers and condolences to the family. But yeah, it's a sad situation. I mean, and very young. Like, she graduated in 98, so she probably at most was in her late 40s, early 50s. But yeah, just a sad situation. So condolences to her and her family, her loved ones. This is just tragic. And I think we definitely need to bring more mental health awareness to the Black community as a whole. So with that being said, no telling what all he was saying and doing to make it unbearable for her. Exactly. And they're calling for her, for the president, to be fired. like after this, like all the alumni association and everyone is calling for him to be fired. So we shall see. I hope they make sure they keep the school, whoever is responsible, keep the foot on the necks and make sure that that guy definitely either gets fired or he's forced to resign. With that being said, so we're going to get on Keith Lee. And this was the main topic that I was talking about earlier. And for those who don't know who Keith Lee is, because he just recently came up on my radar as well, he's really popular on TikTok. And I have a TikTok, but I think TikTok is not for my generation. I mean, I know people on there, my generation, who's on it and they love it, but I just haven't mastered the whole TikTok thing yet. But this man has over 15 million TikTok subscribers, okay? And the first time I heard about him was his Atlanta drama that recently happened. I want to say maybe about 6 months ago, where he went to Atlanta and was trying to review actual restaurants. And not necessarily, I don't think he was really talking bad about the food in Atlanta, but it was more so about the customer service and literally about the actual wait times, things like that. Yes, I'm aware he's an MMA fighter, but I'm just saying now he's more known, in my opinion, based on what I'm seeing, as a food critic, more so than an MMA fighter. He started off as a fighter, but pretty much now he is more known for being a food critic. I'm sure there's more people who follow him for his food critic versus him being a fighter. So with that being said, the drama in Atlanta, he allegedly said that he was receiving some disparaging, I need to leave because they trying to come for my family type of messages. Just very ignorant stuff. And it got to the point where he was like, look, I'm a humble person. I'm a man of God, but you're not going to try me and my family. I'm from the inner city of Detroit. So on that note, before things get hectic out here, I'm out. And that's when I really was like, who is this guy? And why is it that people are up in arms where if he doesn't give a proper review that they are comfortable with, people are having issues with them? So that's when I really started paying attention to him. And apparently he's been to other cities as well. Well, he decided about a week or so ago that he was coming to the Bay Area. Now, I'm from the LA area, but I, of course, have frequently visited the Bay Area, have people in the Bay Area. So when I heard that he was going to the Bay Area, I was like, okay, great. Like this is excellent, because in my humble opinion, I don't think that the Bay Area gets a lot of recognition. LA gets a lot of recognition, but I feel like the Bay Area and even San Diego definitely has some hidden gems that a lot of people aren't aware of. So I was excited. I was. And then, baby, next thing you know, he ended up going to a couple of spots, though. I will say that. He ended up going to this place called Mama T's in Oakland. That's where that fish sandwich comes from. And he also went to this guy in Oakland, Chef Green. He actually sells tacos, and he actually has like a little location on the grill, like on the corner somewhere. And he actually gave them good reviews. He also gave this one lady a good review as well, who has soul food. And one thing about him, when he gives you props, he gives you props, and he also tips very well also. Well, at that point, I was like, okay, he's off to a great start. Like, this is pretty freaking amazing. And I'm happy that the Bay Area is getting some recognition. Then, look, as you can probably hear right now, I'm about to have you guys listen to this video that he did. So here you go. Y'all, I came to this bitch and they tried to kill me. Oh my gosh. They look, hold on, y'all. It's when I tell you everybody and their mama is doing videos right now on TikTok.
get straight into it. Let's talk about it. There are a few reasons why, as a family, we decided to end the food tour short. But before I get to that, I truly want to say from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single bit of love. The people at the Bay were absolutely amazing, and I'll never forget the hospitality and the love that y'all showed me. Reason number one, I truly don't believe the Bay is a place for tourists right now, and that's what I was, a tourist. The people in the Bay are just focused on surviving. That's the business owners, the locals. The amount of tents and living structures and burnt up cars that we saw people living in was shocking to say the least. Before we went, people was comparing it to Gotham City. Now, I might not agree, but I understand where it's coming from. But I can't harp on it enough that the people are amazing. It's just an environment. And as an outsider, I wish the city would step in. I don't know if they have. I don't know if they've been trying. But just from the outside looking in, it don't seem like it was much city interference. Reason number two, and this is in no particular order. We went to a lot of restaurants. Popular restaurants, not popular restaurants, mom and pop shops. And this is the first city where I have over 6 videos that I don't feel comfortable with posting because nothing about my experience was constructive and nothing that I said was constructive. I've always been big on honesty. I've always been big on transparency. But I've never been big on completely tearing down anybody. And I feel like those 6 videos only doing that. And I've always said I'm absolutely blessed to do this, but it does take a lot of money. It does take a lot of resources to do. At the moment, everything comes out of pocket. So when we had that many restaurants that we couldn't do anything with, that was just another deciding factor. Number 3, and probably the most important, I had to go to the hospital because I had an allergic reaction to one of the meals I had. This restaurant in particular cooked a plethora of meats, including shellfish. My family specifically asked if they cooked it on the same grill. They said yes, but they would clean it. The second I ate it, I blew up like a balloon. I had to get some steroids and some allergy medicine, and it cleared right up. But it was a health concern nonetheless, and that was another reason why we decided to go home. I also think the Bay wasn't the target audience for what it is that we do. 90% of restaurants that the locals said had great food was already booming, and the people from the Bay are a loyal community. So if your food is good, the line gonna be out the door already. And then again, we went to some of those restaurants and I wasn't a huge fan. And even if I did like all of the food at the busy spots, that's never been my MO to just go to busy spots. So those are the reasons why we decided to cut it short. But nonetheless, some amazing things did happen while we were there. Chef Green's was one of the restaurants that I went to, and he had a news segment the day after we left. God is amazing. Mama T's also joined that category with a news segment the day after we left. God is amazing. And one of the places that we went that I didn't get a chance to post was a highlight of our trip. The name of it was Luxurious Cuisines. Customer service was absolutely amazing. And the food wasn't too far off of that. We went in as a family and we left for a $2,000 tip. So the trip itself wasn't all in vain. And again, I appreciate every single person that I met. I want to stress, it is not normal for us to go to restaurants, not like it, and not post it. Any other time we...
All right, y'all. So with that being said, that's what he said. So first things first, one of the things that he said that everybody is up in arms with, of course, is that one, he ended up getting an allergic reaction. Now, he is allergic to shellfish. And so while Chef Green, for example, and he gave major props to his tacos, he also has shellfish. But when they told him that the person, because of course, the way that it works with him, he purposely goes to mom and pop small restaurants that are not getting the recognition they deserve, who have amazing food. And so when he gives them any type of props, they will actually get a lot of business. But the same goes for bad business as well. So with that, he went to Chef Green, and the person who approached, because of course it's never him. He always wants someone that they're, I guess is rolling with them to order for him. So they don't try to impress him because of course he's Keith Lee. And they told Chef Green, look, I'm allergic. And so Chef Green was like, I'll clean this whole entire grill. And he had a great experience with him. And he ended up giving him a $500 tip. Same thing with the soul food lady, gave a $2,000 tip. So he had a decent experience the short time he was there. But whatever restaurant he went to, and he said he refuses to name the name because a lot of people assume that he only went to San Francisco and Oakland. He said he did not just go to San Francisco and Oakland. He went to several different restaurants, and he also went to several different cities. But some of the cities that he went to, he only got a few recommendations. So if he told someone what city he was in where he got the allergic reaction, people will figure out probably which restaurant it is, and he doesn't want that restaurant to get bullied. Okay, so with that situation, that was the first thing. So people was going around like, who tried to unalive Keith Lee in the Bay? Who tried to unalive Keith Lee in the Bay? So that was one thing. But also, he said that he doesn't think, based on what he does, the Bay Area is for him. And one thing for me, and of course, I got some people in the Bay who actually are on here. Typically, if you get a recommendation from a food place in the Bay, that restaurant is already popping. It's already literally popping. People know about it. So I don't know if they necessarily have hidden gems that people don't necessarily know about. But the last thing that people are up in uproar about is that he said it is not a place for tourists. So I was trying to figure out where he went, and he actually took a picture of what appears to be Brenda's, a restaurant called Brenda's. But apparently, this location is in the Tenderloin area. And for those who are not familiar with the Bay, don't know about the Bay, the Tenderloin area, even locals who are from there don't frequent the Tenderloin area. It is definitely one of those places, not for tourists, but not even for locals. Like my friends who are from there, they don't even go to the Tenderloin area. When I tell you the last time I was there and we drove through it, you do have a lot of homeless people in that area, and literally they will take a shit in the middle of the street. I kid you not. I'm not even playing. I literally saw a man wiping his ass in the middle of the street. Okay. So when it all boils down to it, whoever gave him these recommendations and told him to go to the Tenderloin area, I said, what the hell? Who the hell was trying to set this man up? Because I'm like, no one goes to the Tenderloin area. Like, who does that? So when it's one of those things where I feel, in my personal opinion, I think to a certain extent this will help the Bay Area. And here's why. Because if you don't have locals who are there to kind of let you know where to go and where not to go, if you go to some of these places, you can tell, in my opinion, that the political leadership have failed the locals in the Bay Area. Okay. I feel like the only people they care about at this point is the tech community. When I tell you the Bay Area, it's so overpriced. I think the last time I checked, they said even if you have a six-figure salary, and we're talking about a six-figure salary, like maybe 100,000, 110,000. I want to say it was 120,000. What I do know is that around that range, they're still saying you will live in poverty in the Bay Area, certain parts of the Bay Area. You're talking about one bedroom apartments in Oakland and places like that that will literally cost you $3,500 to $4,000 a month. It's even higher than New York at this point. So I think him saying, look, this is not a place for tourists. And he said, I didn't say I felt like we were in danger. I'm just saying this is not a place for tourists, because at the end of the day, you walking around and you seeing all of this poverty, how the hell can you really enjoy yourself? Especially when you're not from there. Now, if you're from there, from the Bay to LA, like when we go visit or whatever, we know places to go. But when you don't really know the area and you're seeing all of this poverty, how can you really enjoy yourself? How can you really enjoy yourself? So, and he said that he went to frequent cities. Now, let me see what my Bay Area people are saying over here. Let me see. Let's see what Ruby is saying. I heard from Atlanta, Louisiana purchasing. Oh, yes, Louisiana purchasing San Diego. And he definitely need to visit San Diego too. He was in the city. His voice drives me crazy. He was in the city, go across the bridge. But if he said he went to multiple places, he went to cities all over, but he just wasn't impressed. And he didn't want to name any of the restaurants because he wasn't about tearing people down. He even said some places he said was a 5 or 6 hour wait. And I said, where the hell were you at that was a 5 or 6 hour wait? I will say, though, that there was one restaurant that I went to. The food was good. I'm not going to give the name. In Oakland, it was a 2-hour wait. And while the food was good, I haven't been back since because I'm not trying to wait 2 hours to get my food. Let me see what he said. In my opinion, a food critic should have a stomach like Mikey. He eats anything. I mean, here's the thing. That was another thing too. people were saying, people who were like hating on the fact of what he said, I felt like he was still respectful based on the things he said. They was like, how you gonna have a food allergy and be a food critic? Then they also said, well, here in the Bay, we're known for, Asian cuisine and Mexican food. And maybe his palate isn't up there, but he has actually posted well-rounded, like different restaurants that have different types of cuisines. Like one restaurant in Vegas that he constantly boasts about, they serve African food. I don't know which country in Africa, but he bigs up this restaurant all the time. So I know a lot of people was like, all he eats is burgers and wings, but no, he will go to different places as long as the food is good. And of course, they don't serve him no shellfish. But I feel like what he did kind of opened up a bigger discussion, because people who are from the Bay, there are some people who are offended, but some people are saying, look, damn it, he's right. He is right. Like, we definitely, like, the politicians stuff, they have to do better because it's bleak out here. So I definitely wanted to know what y'all opinion was on it, because he has never said, I don't think, that any city he's been in is not a place for tourists. He said the Bay Area is not a place for tourists right now. Ruby, you said you right. I don't know what you're saying. I'm right on. Let me see the way I just gasped. Yeah, it's that bad. Like, literally, we were driving, because I remember that we were gonna go to a restaurant and we had to go through the Tenderloin to get there. But it seemed like it was just a quick walk. And I was like, look, damn it. I done lived in New York. I done lived in so many places. And my friend was like, we are not going through the Tenderloin. If we're going through it, we're driving through it. And literally, when we drove through it, I was like, this man is literally taking a shit and wiping his ass in the middle of the street. She said, that's why we're not going through the damn Tenderloin. I went to Brenda's once and see, you went to the one in the Tenderloin, lady, February? Because there's several Brendas. So I want to say there's like 2 or 3 locations. Why they told him to go to the Brendas and the Tenderloin, I don't know. But I want to say there's several locations. Before he got here, he was warned about the Bay. So I think he had a vibe after that comment. Yeah. But see, here's the thing though, Ruby. I guess my thing is this. The Bay wasn't this bad though. Like, even in the 80s and 90s, every inner city was bad. But I just feel like even the middle class has been failed in the Bay Area. I really do. Like, I feel like things are getting bad, but y'all can definitely let me know, because I've heard that on both ends. But when it gets to a point where you have people who were from the Bay, born and raised, and they can't afford to stay in their own areas anymore because it's that bad. And granted, it's happening like that in LA too. It definitely is like that in LA as well. Don't get me wrong, but the Bay Area is the priciest area in California. So I just feel like even when we were dealing with the 80s and 90s with the drugs and the epidemic and all of that stuff, it still wasn't that bad, because at least back then it was still cheap to live. You could still buy property, you could still have decent rent. That is not the case anymore. And that's what's scary. That's what's scary. Let me see what you guys are saying. Lady Fred, not trying to be funny, but how is she still in business? Because that's really not a saying. You know what's interesting though? So yeah, she has a second location in Oakland. Her food isn't New Orleans-ish to me. I hope his opinion reaches the city officials. Oh, it has. It has, because San Francisco's mayor spoke on it, as well as Oakland mayor spoke on it. So, but while they have acknowledged what he said, and apparently, I want to say a president of a bank even mentioned how San Francisco has gone downhill, while they have acknowledged it, what the hell are they going to do about it? Because you can acknowledge all day long and still not do anything. So that's my thing. That's my issue in the situation. What are they doing? I think I know what restaurant you're talking about. 2 hours away. Wait, Ruby, are you from the town, or are you from another part of the Bay Area? You probably know which one I'm talking about. And while the food was good, I was like, I'll be damn, like I almost passed out waiting for that food. I was like, unbelievable. Like it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Um, Whoever told him probably wanted him to speak about it based on his wide platform. I don't know, because I say you got a little bit of mixed reviews in this situation. You got people who are upset with him. Like, check this out. Now, this, like I said, this is what he was seeing, and he actually, I think this side showing Brenda's in the tenderloin was actually his video. But look at what the critics are saying. So they pretty much talk about Keith Lee in the Bay Area. He was hospitalized. And then they said Keith Lee ends Bay Area tour, pretty much concerned about safety concerns. But then this last one said Keith Lee dissed the Bay Area food scene before he even got a burrito. Like literally, they were like, before you even got a burrito, you dissed the food scene. And I honestly don't think he dissed the food scene. He's always very respectful, but we're living in times where if it's not about what people want to hear, they feel like you hating or it's a diss. And I don't think that was the case. I really hope it will awake. I really hope the activism that used to be huge in the Bay Area comes back and people take back their cities. Because at this point, I just feel like people have lost a lot of hope. It's like you either have it or you don't. And the ones that don't are trying to either stay there or they're getting the hell up out of there. And if you have all of your locals and people who truly make the Bay Area what it was leaving, then what do you have at this point but the tech people? Like that wouldn't make it the Bay Area anymore, in my opinion. I think he went home because he got sick. He was still wearing. Yes, he did. He said he had allergic reaction to shellfish. He had to go to the emergency room. He had to go to the emergency room. It's getting bad. People moving. Yes, yes. It is getting very bad. It is getting very bad. You hear a lot of people constantly moving out of California and moving to other cities, states, and stuff. Yeah, it's horrible. Oh, do you know what they said? Which day, Lady February, what part are you talking about? You're probably right, lady. Yes, I seen that because it's a lot of people coming from Cali to Texas. We have a manager from my company just moved down here. Yes, Texas, North Carolina, some are still moving to Georgia, but I think people getting tired of, Georgia's getting overpopulated. Yeah, people are getting out of there. People are getting out of there because they realize that, it's just too much. And in my opinion, the government's not doing a damn thing about it. We better be glad he isn't Darius Cooks because he would have aired everything, especially the bad. And he does say the bad, but in a very respectful way. If he doesn't like it, he doesn't like it. you know oh, do I know what they said? Yeah, the mayor, it's like you can look it up, but honestly, in my opinion, what they said to me was that typical political answer, that BS answer. So that's why I said, look, at the end of the day, they can acknowledge what he said, but what the hell are they going to do about it? Because at the end of the day, I want to say both of them have been mayors in the city for a couple of years now, if I'm not mistaken, and it's getting worse and worse. So I'm sure there are a lot of people, though, who don't have that experience still in the area because, of course, if they have the money and the means, they can kind of avoid that stuff. But at the same time, like, I truly think he did what he needed to do there. He was able to bless some of the people that, he was able to bless and support, their business. But, I feel like the fact that people are kind of attacking him for saying it's not a tourist area. I mean, there's certain places that are not, like the Golden Gate Bridge is still, I think safe at certain times. Of course, like to go like to the Alcatraz tours and things like that. Like that type of stuff is safe, but as much money that comes into the Bay Area on a month-to-month basis with all of these tech companies that are out there, you would just think things would be just much better out there, and it's not. And it's not. Oakland has a new mayor. Isn't it a lady? Is she Asian, Lady February? Because I think that's the one who spoke on it. I think that's the one who spoke on it. If that's her, she did speak on it, but I wasn't impressed with what she said, just like I wasn't impressed with that London mayor in San Francisco. I wasn't impressed with her either. But okay, yep, yeah. I wasn't impressed with what they said, but you can look it up. I wasn't impressed with what they said. To me, it was that, we acknowledge it, we see it, we're gonna try to fix it, and then nothing else. So we'll see though. But I do feel like he hopefully gave attention to, I mean, 15 million people, they watch his every move. Hopefully it brings some good attention to what they need to change, because the homelessness rate in California is ridiculous. Not just the Bay, but LA. Tents all over the place. Thousands on top of thousands of people who are homeless. And you have a homeless crisis in other states, especially like the East Coast and places where it's really cold. They will send their homeless people to California because they don't want to deal with them. And then also the weather is better out here. I kid you not. I kid you not. So when I tell you it's a big crisis out here, it's bad. It's bad. Even in LA, when I'm going around, it's like you have all of these tents right by the freeways or under the freeways. In fact, there was a fire not too long ago under our 10 freeway, and they're thinking it was due to the fact that possibly it was like a homeless camp or something out down, underneath, and they was probably trying to cook or who knows what was happening. But yeah, they had to shut down the freeway in LA for a certain amount of time because there was a fire right under the freeway. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I know a lot of people now, of course, people was clowning and making fun of the situation, but I am really hoping that the true Bay Area people see this as a moment to take back their cities. Because one thing about the Bay Area, that used to be activism. Like that was the activist area. Like you had the Panthers, you had everybody up there, putting in the work. And it's like, I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know what's going on right now, but I do know that you even have people who were born and raised out there, like 93 to Infinity, Souls of Mischief, Tajay. He even spoke on it. He even said, like, respect to the brother who came, but he said that. He said, how can you enjoy yourself when you see Dookie on the ground or whatever the case may be, and you trying to enjoy a meal? So he was like, we have to do better. And he was born and raised in Oakland. He's Oakland at that. So you do have people who are from there who is like, this brother, respect that he came, but maybe this is a wake-up call for us. And I have to agree, but I love the Bay. I love the Bay. Like, if you want that seafood, the Bay is the place to go if you can have seafood. Definitely, good food and good people, but the homeless crisis is huge right now in California. It is. That is crazy. I hope things get better up there. Yeah, we had a freeway fire too. I think they were trying. Exactly. They be under the freeway with the tents. Some of them be having like their little hot skillets, or they have like, the fire because it's cold. And the next thing you know, it causes some chaos. I've seen a lot of that when I used to visit my brother. And how long ago was that? How many years ago was that the last time you came out here to visit? Because that should tell you that if that was a couple years ago and you're hearing about this still, it's getting worse. It really is. And people bipping car went, and that was another thing too. He said before, when he said, when I said I was going to the Bay Area, I kept seeing this word bipping, bipping, bipping. And he was like, what the hell is bipping? And he was like, look, damn it, don't bip me. So, like, literally, I think a lot of people assume that he felt unsafe. And I think a lot of that was due to the fact that when he was in Atlanta, he had to check the fact that people was trying to come at him and he had to protect his family. I think people assumed that he was trying to say it was unsafe and he felt unsafe. I personally think that Keith Lee comes off as a very genuine guy, and he's someone who, like me, like I wouldn't be able to enjoy myself, have this type of money or whatever the case may be, because I'm sure he makes a lot of money. And literally while he's going out visiting these restaurants, he see all these homeless people on the street, or he sees feces in the middle of the street. Like, that's a hard pill to swallow. And this man is from the inner city of Detroit. Like, that's a big deal that someone from Detroit, because Detroit at one point had their moments of things looking bleak and things like that. Now they're coming back up, but he's probably seen the highs and lows of the D. And the fact that he's saying that says a lot. That really says a lot. So hopefully, like I said, it'll be a wake up call. Like I said, I love my California from the Bay to San Diego. Like, we definitely have to do better in California and be able to keep our Californians in our state, because without us, it does not have that authentic feel. Just like when I lived in New York, I consider New York my second home. When I tell you the Harlems, the Queens, the Brooklyns, it no longer has that touch anymore, that feel, because most people are getting pushed out. They can't afford to live in their towns anymore, in their boroughs. It's ridiculous. And I feel like once you lose the authenticity, like the true real heart of a city, like, you can't get it back. You can't get it back, and it's a sad situation. So I am hoping that the Bay gets it together, LA gets it together, New York gets it together, everybody get it together at this point. But yeah, I don't think Keith really said anything wrong. I think he was being respectful. And yeah, if you're not from the Bay and you go to certain places, I'm sure it was scared the living shit out of people too. Probably felt like it was the walking, what I'm saying, dead, or the Thriller video. He probably was like, what is going on here? And he had his wife and his kids, I think, and his mom. He usually rolls with the family. Like, he usually rolls with the family. So I don't blame him. I don't blame him. So 3 years ago, yeah, it's gotten worse, bro. It's gotten worse. He shook the table out here. The other food critics are tightening up too. Absolutely. And there's nothing. See, this is the problem. Social media has gotten to the point where people feel like you can't say shit. There's nothing wrong with tightening the hell up, staying on top of your stuff. Maybe this was a wake up call for a lot of people. Maybe this was a wake up call for, restaurants who may have been slipping. And again, he did say that right now he doesn't feel like it's a tourist area because people are just trying to survive. And they are. They are trying to survive. You know what I mean? And it's like, but at the same time, if your survival means that you need to have better customer service and not have people waiting for an hour, two, three, four, or five, you need to do better. You need to do better. Even if your food is good, I shouldn't have to wait 2 hours for my food. I shouldn't have to wait 2 hours for my food. And literally wait in a long line to get in that bad boy. Ruby, you probably already know what I'm talking about. But yeah, you probably know the restaurant I'm talking about. But yeah, it don't make no damn sense. And so hopefully that will make them tighten up, because if he decides to come back to the Bay Area, people had their stuff together. But I tell you this much, Chef Green, I'm sure, is happy with what Keith Lee did. Mama T is probably happy with what Keith Lee did. And that soul food restaurant is happy. So at the end of the day, when that man did come, he dropped $2,500 worth of tips. He gave that lady at the soul food restaurant a $2,000 tip, and he gave Chef Green a $500 tip. So we not going to pretend like that man ain't trying to do the work and really build people who are really trying to start up their businesses and have a successful business. Yeah. And guess what, Ruby? LA got to do better too. We ain't excluded in this. Now, of course, I'm talking about the Bay right now because Keith was there, but LA got to do better too. Now, LA, it has a homeless issue, but it's not as bad, I think, because we still have the industry that keeps things afloat. But there are certain parts of LA, you're gonna see all of them tents too. Alexa Play, get it together. You better say that. We were mad at him, but now I get it. We really love Oakland no matter what, the old Oakland. Yeah. Yeah. And the old Oakland, that's what I'm saying. Even old Oakland, I don't know. If you ask my opinion, I think the politicians, the political like leaders and stuff, they just sold out to the tech companies. As long as the tech companies are good, They don't give a shit about the education. They don't give a shit about nothing else but making sure those tech companies stay in the area and keep money coming in. Now, where that money is trickling down to, who the hell knows? Who knows? And from my understanding, the Oakland Hills, that used to be a safe area. Now they're saying it's not safe. I wonder if Piedmont still a good area, y'all? Is Piedmont, hey Kimmy, is Piedmont still a good area? So this is what I'm saying. Like, it was one thing about, you know what I'm saying, you had the flats, but the hills used to always be that place where, okay, well, the flats is one thing, but the hills is safe. I'm hearing the hills are having issues now. So, child, I don't know what's going on, but I feel like all of this should be done by city officials, and it doesn't seem like that's the case. Something ain't right. I think I know which restaurant too. You probably do. You probably do. So he didn't give my well, I don't know if he gave her a tip because okay, you got to look at his video on TikTok. What he said is that he was getting the food, I think, right before she closed. I want to say maybe they got there like around 3 something, and like it took them a minute to get the food. But you know, the thing is, if he didn't give a chance to tip her, he definitely gave her props. He said the fish sandwich was okay, but he said he really liked her grilled chicken sandwich and he loved her potato salad. He raved about that potato salad. He was like, "We just talking about potato salad," and he said, "This is probably the best damn thing I ate so far in the Bay is her potato salad." So she definitely still got her props. She definitely got her props, and she did get news buzz too. Chef Green and her also got some newsworthy buzz about their restaurant. So I'm happy. I'm so happy for them. 90% of the homes in downtown, yeah, yeah, yeah. And some of them have, you know, we talking about mental awareness earlier. Some of them have, you know, some things going on where they really need to be in the institution. They don't need to be out in the street, which is why I don't understand the attraction to downtown LA. And Kimmy, you know just as much as I do, us locals, we never saw downtown LA as an attraction to live there. I think it's more of the people who are from other areas who want to live downtown LA. I would never in my life live downtown LA. Like I just wouldn't do it. And they still got Skid Row down there. While they're building it up, it's still a lot of Skid Row down there. Google just laid off hella people. See, this is what I'm talking about. So where are they supposed to go now? Because if you don't have a job, and I'm sure a lot of people, even if they are making 6 figures, they still live in paycheck to paycheck. That's bad. Hell, it's bad for us out here too. I'm sure if y'all saw my career, if y'all saw what I made on paper, my gross amount, y'all would be like, Chris Nicole, shut the hell up. But I live in California where taxes are a bitch. Okay. Taxes are a hell of a bitch. Gas is a bitch. So by the time taxes and everything else is taken out, I'm like, yeah, not even close. Not even close. Yes, they are not allowing that mess. Bay to Sac is bad. Yeah, and certain parts of Sac I heard are still good too. From my understanding, that's where a lot of people from the Bay is moving because you could still get affordable places in Sacramento, apparently, or at least it was like that a couple years ago, and they would just drive to the Bay. Oh yeah, so she closes at 4. She did. So happy for Mama T. Yeah, I'm the potato salad maker in my family. Certain parts of downtown are very nice. Yeah, certain parts are. I still wouldn't want to live down there though. College used to be free in California. Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. So with that being said, you know, I'm just happy Keith Lee did come. I think hopefully this would change some things because what city officials should be more than anything is embarrassed. They should be embarrassed that one of the most expensive freaking areas where they get the most money, billions of dollars coming in, probably trillions of dollars coming into the Bay Area, and you have someone who's saying this is not a tourist attraction. It's kind of embarrassing. So, moving on. All right, y'all. Child, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Because you already know when Taraji said what she said, I mean, is anybody shocked that Monique had a comment? And y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. But yeah, is anyone shocked? Is anyone shocked that she had a freaking comment and she had something to say? Her and her daddy had something to say. So, of course, after the whole big thing about Taraji crying and saying that, they're not paying her worth, Monique and Sydney, her husband, went and did an interview with a guy named James R. Sanders. And he actually did an interview with them, and I'm gonna play it again. Fair use, but yeah, I'm gonna play it so you guys can hear what she pretty much said about Oprah. And I'm gonna give you my opinion on this because I definitely want to give a different perspective. So let me play it.
So when you hear Taraji say, first of all, and I just want to give you step by step, okay? Mm-hmm. When you hear those sisters say, when we showed up, we didn't even have any trailers. When we showed up, there was no food. When we showed up, we had to get ourselves to the set. When you hear all of these things, and who was at the helm of this production, James? Oprah Winfrey. Okay, so when you hear all of these things, and then you start saying, see, this is the treatment of the Black actress. It's nothing new. It's nothing new that the trailers are subpar. It's nothing new that either the food is subpar or there's no food at all. That's nothing new. So when Oprah Winfrey sits at the helm and Taraji P. Henson says, it's an honor that we were handpicked. We were handpicked for this movie. Well, if they were handpicked for that movie, those women should have been taken care of from the moment go. Right. There's no way they should have walked up and there were no trailers. There's no way there was no food. And then when you hear Oprah say, but when Taraji called me, what did I do, Taraji? Lady O fixed it. When Taraji called Oprah, what happened was, James, Oprah got caught. That's what happened. And if you look up the...
Okay, so I'm gonna pause it right there. So pretty much what Monique said is that Oprah got caught because the reality is that these women should have had all of that prepared for them, and all of that should have been squared away before they even called to make a complaint. And yes, when you were dealing with production's supposed to have all of that stuff together. But this is what I'm starting to think. I think Oprah is just a name and a face for this production. I think she is a name and a face only. And what do I mean by that? I'm starting to think that some of these big name celebrities in our community put their name and face to stuff to give it validity, but they really don't do shit. And they really don't have control of anything. They are just the household name face that's attached to it, that does the red carpets, that does the things that gives it the validity to their fans. I wouldn't be shocked if Oprah was told, look, just attach your name to this because, of course, you were in the original Color Purple. You're still a household name. And she probably didn't know what the hell was going on and didn't know what was going on with production, period. She probably wasn't hands-on in the situation. Let me give you an example of another situation where someone just used their name and then we found out later on that he was just the name and the face for the deal. Jay-Z, when it came to the Brooklyn Nets. Remember, it was a big hoopla about him owning part of the Brooklyn Nets. Come to find out, he was pretty much the name and the face of it. They done did documentaries on this. People have talked about it, and he barely owned a percentage, if a smidge, not even a dash of a percentage of that team, but he was the name and the face. So then that way people would sit up there and embrace it and give it the validity of it, not even knowing what that really did. Because I have friends who are from Brooklyn, and while at first they were excited about the Brooklyn Nets coming, they got priced the hell out of Brooklyn. and they can't even live in Brooklyn anymore. So for some people, having the Brooklyn Nets there wasn't a good look for them because they can't afford to live in their borough anymore. And they're changing the name of certain areas of the borough. So, those are examples. So, in my personal opinion, when Monique is saying she got caught, my opinion is she didn't get caught that she was making sure they had scraps. I'm thinking she got caught because it really shows she wasn't really involved in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, no, I've heard that too. I've heard that too. And it's enough on social media at this point. Like, I've heard that too. But I also feel like she could have easily just attached her name to this for the promos, the pictures of it all, but she don't really know what the hell is going on. And then when she got a call, because these women were truly thinking, oh, wait, Oprah's doing this production. We don't have this and we don't have that. I guess apparently that's when maybe she reached out to certain people, but I honestly don't think she knew what was going on. She didn't know the ins and outs nor the finances of the movie. They just told her, we want you to attach your name on it. You know what I mean? Like literally, I think that's exactly what it was. Those left faces are to draw us in. Exactly, Kimmy. You already know what I'm saying. Yeah, I think Oprah said something that she's just only the name, but it's the producers behind the scene. And if she was real honest about that, then there you go. Because to me, I've seen too much of this where these bigger celebs, especially in our community, are just the face and the name. They don't know what's going on. They're just attaching themselves to it. But if you really had a day-by-day conversation about what's going on the production or the things when it comes to business, they wouldn't be able to tell you. They are getting paid to have their name on there. And Oprah is still a known name. People still admire Oprah. Still people respect Oprah and act like you can't say nothing bad about Oprah. So I wouldn't be shocked if they just told her, add your name to this, and she don't know what's going on the day-to-day with the set. They have to be careful what they attach their names to. They do. If they care, though, Aspen. See, I'm not getting on the part of if they care or not what goes on. I'm just saying that she truly could have not been aware of what was going on the day-to-day. But yeah, you would think they would if they care. If they honestly care. And the problem is, if you look at the Golden Globe red carpet, there's a Golden Globe red carpet interview out there with Oprah, Fantasia, and some of the other ladies on the red carpet. And child, from Fantasia, and in my opinion, that other girl just so happy to be at the Golden Globes. In my opinion, all the shucking and jiving they was doing, we never gonna be able to get anywhere if you always got one or two people who's just happy to be in the room versus trying to change what's going on in the room. How about that? Because when I saw that, I said, oh, really? So at this point, Taraji broke down crying, saying that the math is not mathing, but then you have her younger counterparts who literally probably complaining about the same thing low key, maybe. But when they get on the red carpet in front of Oprah and in front of those cameras, they're just very happy to be here. Like that coming to America. I'm just very happy to be here. That's what they're giving. All right. So with that, it's never going to change if you don't have people coming together to say, yeah, she's right. At least saying she's right. But I say this, maybe this is Taraji's karma. And why am I saying maybe this is Taraji's karma? Otherwise, they have to accept the good with the bad. Yes, they do. For Taraji not to get 7 figures for a movie role is a crime. Exactly. But maybe this is Taraji's karma. Because see, the thing is that when Monique put herself out there to talk about this, Taraji was silent. Taraji didn't say nothing. Taraji was on Empire, not saying a damn thing. And remember, that was the role, like I said in my last video talking about this, that Monique was supposed to have. So now that Taraji is coming out, and wow, people are accepting her tears, and probably has a lot to do with, the outer beauty and, Monique being a bigger woman and Taraji being thinner, they're accepting more of what Taraji said, but you got people out there who's willing to still shuck and jive. And you have like the Vivica Fox who's like, I didn't have that experience, honey. I'm good. Saying stuff like that. This may be Taraji's karma because she was completely silent and didn't say anything when Monique was talking about it. Okay. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Tap dancing feet for Maz, as I'm saying. And Vivica Fox didn't help. She didn't. And honestly, you're not going to be able to tell me that she's never had any pay issues in the industry. I'm sorry. It's to me, it didn't ring true. I don't know why she said what she said and how she said it. The fact that she said to each his own, I'm good. I didn't have an issue, but they standing behind each other. There's no way the 30 years she's been in this business, she hasn't heard or experienced anything as far as less pay. I don't know. I don't know. But again, that's what she said. But hey. Yeah, Mrs. Fox said, not me, girl. And I hope she don't ever go through it because then it's going to look crazy that she's coming back after she made that comment. Taraji was living the life when she was on Empire. Yeah, but we talked about that. I don't know if you was on my last video. If you guys look at my video, the math, is the math really not mathing? I did a live on Taraji. And I talked about that because two truths can coexist at the same time. Two truths, and I feel like, yes, there's issues with how Black women are paid, but at the same time, certain things that I found, it made me wonder if Taraji is really handling her money properly. Just saying. And also, is she really advocating for herself like she should? But that's just, I definitely look at that live that I did so you guys can get, my take on that. Mind you, didn't V play? Yes, she sure did. Do you see how cold-blooded that is? Exactly, T. You see how cold-blooded that is? Literally, and from my understanding, if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw an interview where Taraji is the one who actually wanted and said something to Vivica about putting her on Empire. I think Taraji is the one who actually kind of put that out there. So isn't that crazy? Crazy, right? But Vivica says she's good because she's doing other stuff on Lifetime commercials. Yeah, but she is. And she's doing movies and she's producing some of those movies that are on Lifetime. But compared to her counterparts who don't look like her, is she getting paid like them? You see what I mean? So it's like her saying that she's good. She could have said something like, look, I'm sure there have been plenty of other people who don't look like me getting paid more than me. However, I stand in my lane. I have been able to remain working and remain comfortable. Maybe she's just comfortable, but to say that she's never experienced it, even if she hasn't experienced it, which it's hard for me to believe that, I know she's heard about it. She's been in the game for like 30 years, 30 damn years. So I know she's heard about it. Of course, Vivica lied. Vivica's selling wigs and doing commercials, so she hustling too. Yeah. But the thing is, when you really think about it, if she was getting paid what she was worth, or if she was getting paid what her white counterparts were getting paid, would she have to be selling wigs and doing commercials? Do you know what I mean? And Vivica has an impressive resume. I mean, one of the biggest movies she did, I think still to this day, is not Training Day, Independence Day. So, it makes you wonder, like, would she have to do the commercials? It's not like she had crossover effect like a Will. She has a typecast too. She does, but the fact that she did Independence Day, that was a huge movie. I don't know what she got paid. I don't know if she got residuals, but that was a big movie for her. Now, of course, a lot of the other roles like Soul Food and Set It Off and stuff, but Training Day was really big for her. Yep, I was on that great live. Also, remember about the house. Exactly. Vivica doing her thing and trying to get back with 50. Okay. I hope not. I think she need to just leave 50 alone. Leave him alone. Clearly, we all have heard about that drama. She need to leave 50 alone. Hey, Molly May. No, she wouldn't. I don't know what you're saying. No, she wouldn't. Okay. Because I was like, what do you mean by no, she wouldn't? Meryl Streep, Julia Roberts don't have to worry about the next project because they were paid. Exactly. Exactly. So that's why I'm saying what Vivica is saying doesn't ring true to me. But then again, maybe she's one of those people where she truly hasn't compared what other people are getting. I don't see how that's the case, but maybe that's the case for her. Maybe she hasn't compared what other people were getting. But then when you think about it, the biggest blockbuster movie I think she did was Independence Day, and she was not a lead. So because she wasn't a lead, she probably just felt like, it is what it is. But maybe she hasn't compared it. Maybe she hasn't. True. That is very true, Molly May. And welcome. I don't know if you're new to the channel, but that is very true. They're not. But again, let her tell it. She's good. And so the problem is when you real quick to say you good, when someone puts a mic in front of your face, you better hope you good forever. Because if you come back a couple of years later saying it was all a lie, it was all a lie, I'm going through it, people gonna go back to that interview. So I will hope that she really is good. You have a point. Vivica is comfortable, and I forgot she was on Empire. Yeah, and apparently Taraji's the reason why she's on Empire. So isn't that interesting that she made that comment? Hi, thank you. Oh yes, welcome, girly, welcome. Some TV co-stars make about $250,000 per episode. They do. They do. In fact, I think Taraji was making, I think, 175,000 per episode on Empire. And I want to say Kerry Washington, doing my research, Kerry Washington and Viola were making 250,000 per episode for Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder. And Angela Bassett, the Queen of Queens, she's the highest paid Black woman I think ever on a TV show now. She makes about 400,000 per episode for 911. So yeah, so definitely, I mean, at the end of the day, she made some pretty good money, Taraji. Now, how she spent that money, I don't know. Because like I said, if you look on that live, the research that I did, but it's all alleged, the research I did, that's why I said, is the math really not mathing? Or is someone spending over their means, which tends to happen, especially in California, So with that being said, I'm not about to play what Cindy said, Daddy. He pretty much kind of just co-signed what Monique said, but Monique pretty much said Oprah got caught. I know she can't stand Oprah. I don't blame her for not standing Oprah with what she did when it came to her family and not really apologizing. I get it. I get it. But I truly think that Oprah is just the face and the name on this project, and she had no idea what the hell was going on. I am truly thinking that is the case, like so many others who just attach their name, and pretty much you're paying them for their name. You're paying them for their likeness. That's really what it is. And because Oprah, out of everybody from that original cast, Oprah is the biggest household name. So why wouldn't they call and say, we want you attached on this? Like, why wouldn't they? But did she know what was going on? No. Now, apparently, when they called her, they claim it got fixed. But I do agree with Monique. It shouldn't be something that you call and fix. It should be something that's already there. I agree. But at the same time, just because someone has the producer title doesn't mean that they're actually doing the producer work. Just like people who have writer title for songs doesn't mean they wrote a damn thing. It's just that in the business of it all, if you want me to sing your song, I got to get some writing credits as well. That's just the business. But I'm thinking at this point, Oprah really probably didn't know. And I'm not defending her like she don't, her shit don't stink. I think her name is just attached to it, and she really didn't know what was going on in that set. But that's my humble opinion. She wasn't planning for her future. They just need to fight. You know what? Yo, messy ass. No, they do not. We do not condone violence. We don't condone violence. And I'm sure Monique probably at this point would love that because it will probably get some frustration out. But, like I said, I think 2024 is going to be the year of reckoning. It's going to be the year of exposing a lot of things that we either heard about that's coming out there or we never heard about, and it's going to shock us all. Like, I truly think that's going to be the case. Honestly, I would like to see Cat Williams and Monique do something. But one thing that I will respect about Cat Williams kind of exposed Monique too. See, this is why I say Cat Williams, he's gonna speak the truth whether he respects you or not. I think he respects Monique as a comedian because he did that with that Wanda roast that he did with the lady on V103 in Atlanta. He still said Monique is a good comedian, but when Monique was talking about the Netflix stuff, he was like, Netflix didn't call her, knock it off. Like, it ain't nothing personal. It's all about the number of tickets you sell. And if you don't sell enough tickets, they're gonna give you the price based on the tickets you sell. It's nothing personal. So he didn't care. He didn't give a damn. He was like, it is what it is. He said, I sold this amount of tickets, therefore I got this amount of money. She sold these amount of tickets, that's what they gave her. So let's see. I've seen some people say Taraji complaints is the reason the movie has now flopped and now she could be black. Did it flop though? Did it flop? I thought it was doing good. Me personally, I didn't want to see it. I'm one of those people, and again, y'all let me know how you feel about it. I don't like when people remake classic movies or they do a sequel to a classic movie. There's just certain movies that people don't need to touch. And I feel like The Color Purple was one of those movies. Just like Coming to America didn't need a sequel. There's certain movies, especially in our community that you just leave them there and stop with the remakes or stop with the sequels. We don't need it. And so when they was talking about they was doing another Color Purple, I was like, I have no desire to see it. If I want to see the original Color Purple, I'll watch the one from 1985. Like, that's what I'll do. Celebrity boxing match, Big O versus Big Little Mo. Who y'all got? You a mess. Oprah could have even run her own network. She's so separate. You know what's interesting, Kimmy? See, people who really do their due diligence to look up stuff, they know this information. They really do. But you have so many people blinded by celebrity status and fandom that people had an issue with people saying that. She did sell most of her stake in that company. And people was wondering like why. It seemed like it was a fire sale, like what was going on. But she got her stand worship folks who be really like willing to sit up there and go crazy if you say anything bad about Oprah, even if it's the truth that she sold 75% or more of her network. I mean, it is what it is. But a celebrity agent is supposed to negotiate pay for movie roles. So why is Taraji crying? Exactly. Molly, I don't know if you actually watched my live. It's literally on my live section. It's called Is the Math Really Not Mathing? I think it's a mixture of a lot of things with Taraji. I do feel like there's a pay issue when it comes to Black women, but at the same time, one thing about it is that you have to be your own advocate and you have to push for what you want. So definitely look at that video when I did that, because I feel it's a couple of things that's going on when it comes to Taraji, but it's, my opinion. Oh, I didn't know it flopped. I did not know it flopped. We watched the 80s Color Purple. I know the new one can't compare. Exactly. That's why I don't watch it. I don't watch it. Yes, it dropped big time after the Chris. Oh, see, shows you how much. And mind you, I would love to do reviews on movies. I just don't have a movie yet that I actually want to see and do a review on. I agree. Oh, you talk about the classics. Yeah, I can't do remakes and sequels. Like, I can't rock with it. They sure not talking about it anymore. I was just saying that today to my aunt. Yeah, I thought it was gonna actually help all of this controversy. I'm with you, Chris. I haven't went to see it either. In the past, when classics who have been redone, I've been sold it. Exactly. That's why I'm like, I don't touch it. Leave it alone. If I want to see the original, the heart and soul of what made it a classic in the first place, I'll pop in that DVD, or I'll pay for it in streaming or watch it on a stream. So yeah, I really wish they would stop rebooting classic movies. Seriously. That's one thing about Hollywood. Hollywood just likes to redo stuff, thinking that the formula will still work. And I just would like to know, when are they going to understand that the shit don't work? Stop trying to redo stuff over and over again and copy and paste. Allow new people to come in with a new mindset, new talent, be able to take, even if they are inspired by certain things, be able to create it and flip it and make it seem completely new. Like Hollywood needs a reboot on stop trying to hire the same people and do the same stuff over and over again. I truly think if they trusted new blood coming in, new people, we could have some great movies and some great TV shows again. Like, I really do. Taraji was too old and fat to play. Oh my gosh, Kimmy. Wait a minute. Which I know you don't like Jada, but good grief, she too old and fat. Yep, Taraji and others' complaints about the dressing rooms and no drivers was not good for this movie. Well, child, I don't know. Apparently, though, she got a nice piece of real estate in a couple of different places. She still probably got the one in Chicago. She got two in the LA area. So at least she got some real estate where if she has to, she'll sell it. But honestly, let's just say if she is allegedly going to be blackballed, Taraji has enough presence on social media, and she has enough on social media where she could really start making her own movies, get some investors, and do the damn thing on her own. And maybe that's what needs to happen. She needs to get pushed out of her comfort zone and really create her own lane at this point. And she has the means to do it. She really does. Yeah, Teeth. I'm starting to think Kimmy like the female version of you. Child, she said she was too old and too fat to play Suge Avery, child. But yes, you guys, so that is my take on everything. Like I said, at this point, I'm probably gonna have to do these at least once a week or every other week because again, we're only halfway in January and it's just constantly stuff coming in consistently, like it's never ending. So, with that being said, compared to Roger to the yeah, yeah, but I don't. As far as age is concerned, Margaret Avery. I wonder how old she was back then. I wonder how old she was back then. But you know, one thing about Taraji can't act. Now, of course, they say she typecast, but she definitely can act. She can definitely act. Only way I will watch if it's streaming. Yeah, and if it's streaming for free, because I'm not paying for it. Well, it appears 50 offer is still on the table. Offer for who? Taraji? See, 50, one thing, well, let me put it like this. I think I would definitely 50 Cent. I have a love-hate relationship with. I respect the hell out of Curtis Jackson though. Curtis Jackson is that businessman. 50 Cent is that personality, but Curtis Jackson understands the business. So you got these women out here who have a huge following and all of this talent complaining about Hollywood. He's like, y'all can come to me. Y'all can come to me because you know it's going to be successful because he still got shows. I don't think any of his shows besides Life that I think was on ABC has been canceled. Everything else is still rolling. He is definitely a true example of someone who was able to end the rap career and be able to go into a whole other field. And when he wants to make music, he'll just make a theme song. Wasn't New Year's 2 days ago. I wish in her 30s to Raji's in her 50s. Yeah. Well, one thing about it is black don't crack. So she may be in her 50s, but she don't look like it. I would say she still look like she could be in her late 30s, early 40s. So I don't think it's that bad. Slow down, you moving way too fast. You're only 16. Yes, Curtis gets them coins. He does. That's one thing. Curtis Jackson is about his business and his money. Gotta respect it. But 50 Cent, like Kimmy just said, is petty as hell. Got a love-hate relationship with him. Rumor is it that Curtis is possibly getting Taraji and Terrence Howard on one of his shows. I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't put it past him. And Terrence has also talked about his issues with pay. And I remember Terrence Howard, the first time I saw Terrence Howard, no, Living Single wasn't the first. That was the second. You know what Howard was on? Terrence Howard was on when I was younger that I loved to watch? The Jacksons and American Dream. He played Jackie Jackson in Jackson's and American Dream, the miniseries back in 92. That's still to this day one of my favorite miniseries. He was on there. So literally over 30 years in the game. Over 30 years, and he's still struggling as far as paying stuff is concerned. Curtis is that businessman, petty 50, exactly. I'm still mad that they did Terrence the way how they did Terrence with Iron Man. Yeah. 50 is a cancer. We are the kings of petty. Yes, I know. I know. I know. Yes. 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 I am very aware. I am very aware. Y'all cancer men, definitely. So with that being said, that's my favorite movie. That was that miniseries was everything. I don't know if it got awards, but that miniseries to me probably still one of my top miniseries. That and Roots, I think they're always going to be like my top one or two. Like that's just what it is. So they did a really good job on that. I'm a proud Cancer. Oh, Kimmy, you a Cancer. No wonder you and Teeth get along very well, because what you just said, honey, that sounds like a Teeth moment. So yeah, no wonder. Y'all need to say hello. Say hello to your fellow Cancer. I like Terrence Howard. Hopefully we'll see more of him. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. But if I could be honest, I also want to see some new blood when it comes to actors and actresses too, because unfortunately, there's also this thing in Hollywood that once a certain Black actor or actress makes it, they want to keep giving stuff to them and they don't want to bring in new people. I want to see some new people too. I really want to see some new people. I'm overseeing the same people that I've seen for 30 years. It's time for some new blood. It's time for some new actors, writers, directors. Like, we need to start seeing some new people. Yes. Oh, you a July baby. You a July baby. Y'all crazy. So yeah, the actor that portrayed Michael Jackson in that movie passed. Yeah, the older Michael. He did pass. I remember that. And then Jason Weaver was one of the younger Michaels. And Jason Weaver, believe it or not, his mother looked out for him when he did that movie, and then he went on to do The Lion King. Apparently, the way that contract worked out, he still gets paid off of The Lion King. So kudos to Jason. Jason probably only acts at this point just because he still wants to, not because he has to. The new actors are the ones from the UK. Yeah, no, I want to see some US born and raised actors too. No disrespect. I definitely like Damson Idris. Loved him in Snowfall. He actually portrayed a West Coast brother very well, in my opinion. But I also want to see some new blood from America too. I do. I want to see some new blood. Look at y'all talking about y'all cancer stuff. Yeah, Jason Weir mom didn't play. He's getting paid. Exactly. He's definitely getting paid. He is getting paid. So yeah, you guys definitely just want to talk about those things. We're gonna see what 2024 is gonna bring. Like, I don't know, y'all. It's like I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, like what is about to jump off in 2024? I think the way that people been coming out left and right, exposing people left and right, you probably gonna have a lot of people real quiet, shaking in their boots, hoping and praying they don't get exposed. Like, honestly. Yeah, these UK actors be wearing me out. I mean, at the end of the day, them coming here to work, I don't mind it, but I also want to see some American born and raised Black actor and actresses out, literally do their thing and be able to get the recognition they deserve. Because let's be clear, could our American born and raised Black actors and actresses go to the UK and be able to get work like the UK brothers and sisters can come out here and get work? I mean, let's just call it what it is. So I don't mind them coming out here to get work. Some of them are absolutely brilliant, but I also want a healthy balance of people who was born and raised here to be able to get the same opportunities. 2024 started off crazy. Sure the hell did. And from my understanding, that freaking Shannon Sharp Club Shay Shay interview is now at 80 million. I haven't checked in a couple of days, but if he's at 80 million, what in the hell did Shannon Sharp get paid for that freaking interview? That was the full interview, and then he chopped it up too. When I tell you he hit the jackpot with that freaking Cat Williams, let me tell you something, Cat Williams, if you ever come across my page, look, damn it, I am a small channel, but you are more than welcome to come over here and speak more of your truth, damn it. Like, seriously. Cat Williams literally shook the table 50 times over. And I swear he has not only January, he has February, March, April. This man has flipped 2024 upside down. Yeah, I think I heard somewhere that it's 80 million at this point. I wish more black actors would band together and make things happen. Yes. Yes. I wish that too. But the problem is you got a lot of entitled, selfish ass people out there who don't understand coming together is going to create more opportunities than always just worried about self. The UK actors are just better. They don't worry about looks. They are into the talent part. See, I don't know. I feel like they may be trained better because, of course, they have to switch up their accents and stuff like that to sound more like us. But I don't know if I believe that they're just better. I feel like they are good. And apparently, from my understanding, they don't charge as much. Therefore, on a business standpoint, they're bringing them over here because the pay is different. But I feel like we still have a lot of hidden gems that haven't been discovered yet that are US born and raised actors and actresses. Yeah, that's what apparently 80 million. Y'all can fact check that. But yeah, I remember when my daughter was in the business and some stuff was so shady. Some stuff, it's a lot of stuff still shady. And it's spilling over into other industries as well, even more. Cass said in the beginning of that interview he was going to shake the internet. Well, he sure the hell did. Shook the internet and shook Shannon Sharp's pockets, because I'm sure Shannon Sharp didn't even pay him for that sit down. And baby Club Shay Shay has literally shook the internet also. Yulian, he exactly. So with that being said, you guys, I know this was late night. Appreciate that you came to hear me talk about all of this stuff going on. He is. Lamar on BMF is from the UK. Yes, Damson Idris is from the UK. The guy who played the what is it, 4 Life or 2 Life, that show that 50 Cent did on ABC. He, I think, is from the UK. There's a lot of them. In the first one from the beginning, Idris Elba, he's from the UK with his fine ass, because remember, he kicked it off with The Wire. So no, there is definitely some talent. I just feel like there needs to be a balance, and they need to bring in new talent from the US here also. I've been hearing blazing painting. Oh, here blazing, painting, and listening. Glad we can make it back for the yes. I'm calling it the WTF Weekly. So when you know it's a WTF Weekly, just know it's about all the trending stuff that's going on. But with that being said, you guys have a wonderful evening. Have a happy holiday tomorrow. For those who are off, enjoy your extra day off, child. Enjoy yourself, and I will definitely see you on my next video. And for those who want more insight on my opinions on Taraji, like I said, go to the live where the math really mathing or not mathing, and it has a picture of Taraji, so you can kind of get more insight on the information I found as far as her pay and how she's been spending that money allegedly. So with that being said, you guys have a wonderful evening. Love you guys, and I will see you on my next video. Toodles.